Bienvenidos a otra sesión de percusión para el Hispanic Canadian Arts and Cultural Association. My name is Rodrigo Chavez. Me llamo Rodrigo Chavez, and welcome to everyone to another session of Latin American percussion for the Hispanic Canadian Arts Cultural Association. Something before we start the session. My name is Rodrigo Chavez. I am originally from Chile, but I live in Canada for many years. And from here I have been traveling through many different Latin American countries, and I studying percussion, rhythms, many instruments, and I keep studying. I haven't finished, of course. So I would like to share with you some of these rhythms. Last time we did calypso and soca, and today we're going to dedicate this session mainly to a Cuban Tumbao rhythm. They call it Tumbao, but in Cuba they call it marcha, which is a basic, I would say, conga pattern for son cubano, guajira, salsa, so many rhythms that you can play with this basic tumbao. They call it tumbao, but it's a generic name. There are many variations of that. If you play it faster, it becomes guaracha. If it's slower, it's son or guajira. If it's very slow, you can make it into bolero. So I will be explaining the variations of all this rhythm. Okay, popular name is tumbao, but in Cuba they call it marcha. Marcha means marching or walking. And it's the basic rhythm for all these popular Cuban rhythms. So basically, long time ago, in Cuba they used just one conga drum, okay, and they call them tumbadoras. They didn't call them congas. Now in North America they call them congas, so as in Europe, but originally the name is tumbadoras. So they used just one of them. And the tumbao was pretty much like with one open tone, usually on 4. So if you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, the open tone will come on 4. And with the left hand you have bass tip, and with the right hand you have a slap. So bass tip, slap. Second part would be tip, bass tip, okay? And then the open tone. So originally this rhythm was like this. Bass tip, slap, tip, bass tip, and the open tone on 4 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And sometime in the 50s, they added 2 open tones. The bands were getting bigger, more saxophones, more trumpets. People were dancing, and the speed was a little bit faster. So they added 2 open tones to this basic tumbao. 1, 2, 3. And you start hearing these 2 open tones on 4. So sometimes you alternate 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And this rhythm is usually played with the clave. And the Cuban clave, which is called these 2 sticks, and you can play them this way, or you can play after 1. So you go 1, 1. So the rhythm is divided in two bars. One bar has 3 notes, the other bar has 2 notes. So if the 3 notes are in the first bar, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? The second bar will be 1. Okay? So the 2 bars together would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay? So the open tone will be played on the 3rd note of the clave. If you have this, ta, 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 so on. Now, most Cuban music, or in modern times, most songs are played or composed in the 2-3 clave. That means you start with the rest, and then you have the two notes of the clave. It would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Second bar, 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, so you just transpose the clave. From the second bar, you put it in the first bar. It would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, 1. Okay. So the congas and the cowbells and the timbales and even the piano player, people are following the clave. In Cuban music, the clave is an essential element. And there are compositions where you can really define the clave, like El Manicero. Pa 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 pa. And Chan Chan, for example, Chan Chan, a popular song, and you can hear Chan Chan in Buena Vista Social Club record. It's a 3-2 clave. De Alto Cedro voy para Macané. De Alto Cedro voy para Macané. Okay, so it depends on the melody or the composition. The clave will be 2-3 or 3-2. Okay, now the basic tumbao on one conga, if you want to play 2 open tones all night, would be bass, tip, slap. Okay, left hand bass tip, and you do it in the middle of the drum. Bass, tip, slap. The slap is like you pretend that you're grabbing something there in the middle, and then bend a little bit the fingers, and the hand should be very relaxed, and just leave it on the drum. Okay. Second part would be the left hand tip, bass, tip, and hands off the drum. You have 2 open tones at the end. Okay, and the open tones you do it with half of your hand. Okay, so just the fingers. Okay, and pointing to the middle, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, if it's faster, we can. The 2 open tones usually comes on 4. Okay, now with I would say the changing of the rhythms, breaks, and changing of bands, they add the second drum on the stage, which is, they call them Tumbaodora, tumba or hembra. So you have the macho or the male and the hembra, the female. The female is usually lower in tone, and the hembra usually is at your right. You play with the right hand. If you are left-handed, of course, you have to put the hembra or the bass Tumbaodora on your left. Okay. In this case, I am right-handed, so I play with my right hand, and it shouldn't be so far away from the conga. So the tumba should be a little bit closer, so it's easier for you to play the Tumbaodora. And the complete tumbao would be 1 bar with the conga alone, 1, 2, 3, and the second bar will be 1, 2, and 2 open tones on the tumba, okay, or the hembra, female drum, okay. So 1 bar would be 1, 2, 3. Second bar would be tips and 2 open tones on the conga, and you go back to the original rhythm. So the whole loop would be like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Okay, so it would be 1, 2, and 3. Okay, tips on the left hand on the conga, and then 2 open tones to start again the next bar. Okay, so it's a 2 bars pattern. 1 bar is on the conga, the second bar we include the tumba, but the 2 open tones on the conga, they always happens on 4. It's an ostinato. Ostinato means that it will happen no matter what. So you can play on one drum or second drum, okay, and you always have the two open tones on 4, okay. There are variations to this rhythm, and there are breaks, etc. Okay, I am showing you the basic elements of the tumbao rhythm, so you can play with, with a song or with a band. And if it's very fast, you just have to speed it up. Something very important, usually in the first part of the huarachas or the salsas, the people don't use the tumba because that would be an obstacle on top of the singer. The singer is trying to say something, so you don't use the tumba in the first part of the song. But in the pregón or with the improvisation, when the trumpets come in somewhere in the middle or near the end of the song, the tumba appears, okay? So the first part of the song is usually just the conga. Por la esquina de aquella calle lo vi pasar con el tumbao. So you just play on the conga, and the tumba comes with the chorus, the backup vocals, trumpets, improvisations, when everything goes up, and then you add the tumba. Usually it's 1 bar on the conga, 2nd bar the tumba. When the trumpet comes and the cowbell appears in the song, there are improvisations, chorus, and everything goes up. Okay. Now the slap is a little bit difficult. Okay, it's a challenge to get the slap, and there are many kinds of slap. When I was in Cuba, they taught me a slap with the fingers that open. So you separate the fingers, the hand is very loose. Okay, another teacher told me you always do it with the fingers together. So you protect your fingers and the skin, and everything is better with the fingers together. But you don't bend your hand, so you just cape a little bit your hand. It's just a little bit, it's like an air bubble in the middle, and you do it close to the middle of the conga, okay? Another teacher told me that everything is wrong, and you have to bend it, just like you're grabbing something. So you can find 25 teachers, and they will teach you many different theories. Look for whatever is best for you, and try to get this coconut sound of the slap. Okay, and that's the idea. Okay, now for the cha-cha-cha, in the cha-cha-cha, they use basically the same tumbao, but there is a slap open. It's characteristic of the cha-cha-cha. You have a slap and open tone right after the slap. So for the cha-cha-cha, people include the güiro, and you hold the güiro from the back. You play the güiro with a little stick. Okay, you have long, short, short. And you go up, and then in the middle, short, short, down, up. So long, short, short. And if you move the stick and the güiro together, the sound will be even much better. Okay, typically the timbal player uses a cha-cha bell. Okay, and for the timbal, the cha-cha bell is mounted on a stand, and the timbal player, the timbalero, put this index on top of the stick, and you add pressure on the cowbell. Okay, so that's the idea of the cha-cha bell in the cha-cha-cha. And the conga pattern is basically the same, but there is a slap open, which the regular guaracha or son, they don't have that. In the cha-cha-cha would be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So right on 2, you have a slap and followed by the open tone. So it would be 1, 3, 1. Okay, so you always have slap open. That's typical of the cha-cha-cha. Now, for the mambo is a little bit faster. And Perez Prado is a famous composer that includes so many saxophones in the orchestra. The saxophone was an instrument that was not widely played in the 50s and 60s, but Perez Prado made it famous, this instrument, and he formed big bands with just saxophones, tenor, alto, baritonos, all kinds of saxophones, and he became famous for his mambo. Okay, and in the mambo, the tumbao is using the tumba or the hembra, the low drum, all the time. So in every bar you have this. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, in the regular son or guaracha you have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, one bar on the conga, second bar there is the tumba. In the mambo, the tumba is always there. 1, 2. Okay, so that's the characteristic of the mambo. And now I would like to show you the what they call the mambo bell. Or this bell is the bongo player bell. The bongo player, I don't have a bongo here now. This is COVID-19 time. During COVID-19, I lent my instrument to my friends, but I cannot visit them and get my bongo back. So it's difficult to gather all the instruments that I have originally. But the bongo player, in the second part of the song, when the mambo comes, trumpets and trombones, they have a line. Usually it's a short melody that repeats on, and the music goes up in volume. And there are chorus, and then the bongo player leaves the bongo and use this big cowbell, which they call them also mambo bell, because it's playing the mambos. And the typical cowbell pattern is low and 2 high notes in the back of the bell. So you have, okay, open tone, and then you muffle with the index. So, okay, in that section. But the cowbell is following the clave. So the clave has 2 parts, the parts of the 2 notes and then 3 notes. So it's 1 and then 1. In the part of the 2 notes, the mambo bell must coincide with those 2 notes. So you have high, low. So the mambo bell will do this. Okay, in the section of the clave playing the 2 notes. So it would be 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Tap, 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 tap. Okay, so the mambo bell and the claves coincide on that section. Okay, and what else? Well, when we have the 2 open tones on the conga here, and you have this, you have low and high, or some cowbell players play on the low tone of the cowbell. Okay, the typical pattern is okay, and that's regarding to the cowbells and the clave. Okay, now there is a slower rhythm, and I would say the slowest of the rhythm is called bolero, and the bolero is soft music. Usually there is a singer, guitar, or piano. There are not so many instruments, although you can play a bolero with a big orchestra, but usually it's softer sound and it's slow. The boleros are slow. So for the bolero, the congas are playing 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. Okay? So that's the typical bolero. The first part is the same tumbao, bass, tips, la. Okay? 1 and 2 and 3. Tip, bass. Bass, tips, la, tip, bass. Separate both hands, so divide the hands, and you have open tones. Tumba, conga, tumba. Low, high, low. So it would be 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 4 and 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 1. Okay? 1 and 4 and 1. 1, 2, 3. Okay? But the boleros are softer, so we don't do this in the bolero. Now, I'm trying to demonstrate. That's why I exaggerate the volume. Boleros are softer, so it's not this. It's way softer. Okay? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? And now the maracas. I forgot the maracas. I have them right here. When there is a son or guaracha, there are many techniques in the maracas, but basic technique for the guaracha or salsa would be right. Put the maracas in an A shape, never like this. It's an A shape. Right hand goes forward, and we stop here, staccato. Okay, so we don't pass this line. Imagine there is a wall, so we go and we stop right there. With the right hand, we return, we come back close to your chest, and we go down, right, left. And the second part is softer. So just we have an accent, and then right, left. So it's right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right. This is a very simple way of doing the maracas. There are many more techniques, but typically it's this. Some people play standing and they go just like this, which is correct too. Okay, most singers, when they're playing maracas, they go this way. The maracas are in an A shape and they tend to roll it. So instead of this, you roll them. Okay, so this is the idea. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay, usually there is a tremolo right after 1. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. And the tremolo is done with the left hand. So instead of this, now you have this. Okay, so there is a tremolo right after 1. So it sounds 1, 2, 3, 4. Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera, Guantanamera. Okay, And that tremolo is in the Bolero too. And the Bolero is softer, so you can go 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 3, and 4, and 1. Okay? And so you play 1 with the right hand, and the tremolo is with the left hand. You can do 3 notes, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2. Or you can do 4 notes, 1, 3, 4, and 1, 3, 4, and 1, and 3, and 4, and 1. Okay, some people repeat the right hand, so becomes 1, okay, 1, 3, and 4, and 1. Ta 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 ta. Okay, 2 right, 2 left, and we finish with the right. That's another style. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, ta 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 ta. Right, right, left, right. So right, now right, right, left, right. Okay, with just the left hand, the tremolo will be 1, 3 and 4 and 1, and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, so with the congas will be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, if there's no timbal player, usually the timbales are doing the maracas on the shell of the timbal, the cáscara. It would be 1, 3, and 4, and 1, 4, and 1. And that's the timbal player would replace the maracas. But sometimes there is just piano, singer, bass, and you. So there's no maraca players and there's no timbal players. To do that little tremolo, which is very important in the bolero. So there are ways of doing the tremolo with the conga. One way is doing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. You just place the left hand in the middle, 1. Same hand, left hand goes bass tip, okay? 1, okay? And right hand at the end. So it's 1, now bass tip, right hand, 1, okay? 1. Tip, bass, fingers, palm, 1, fingers, bass, and then divide both hands, and that's the bolero. 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay. Another way of doing the tremolo is slap, very soft slap. 1, and you have slap, bass tip, and slap again. So it would be 1 in the middle, left hand in the middle. 1 now, which is slap, bass tip, slap. It's a quartina, or just 4 notes together. Da 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 da. Okay, so 1. Tip, bass, fingers, palm, divide both hands, okay, so 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, okay, so that's the bolero. The idea is to replace the maracas, but if there is a maraca player, the conga player doesn't need to do that. So you have this 3 and 4 and 1, and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, but there is nobody, no maracas, no timbales, nothing. You must do it on the little bongos or with the conga, and usually the tremolo comes after 1. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3. Okay. Now, when you're playing the tumbao, which is originally this, you're playing all night from 6 o'clock playing, and by 9 o'clock you are exhausted, but the band wants you to play faster and more, and there's no break. So in that case, we don't do this, all the baqueteo, the original technique. There is a way of doing an easier tumbao, and you can play very fast, playing just the basic note. So you do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so place the left hand, slap on 2, 1, 2, 3, and fingers. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Instead of doing by 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, your hands will be very tired. So you just do this bass, dip, slap, the 2 open tones. Okay, and you can play faster or you can play longer. And the sound will be the same. Instead of this, just so those are the notes I wanted to share with you regarding to this tumbao or marcha in Cuban music. Thank you very much, and thank you to the Hispanic Canadian Arts organization that makes this possible. And please try to follow it. You can follow the organization through Instagram, Facebook. Look for Hispanic Canadian Arts all together, Hispanic Canadian Arts Association, organization, cultural, etc. And you will find us. Thank you so much.